Okay, so welcome to another episode of Creativity, and today we have a creative genius in the house. So I'm so excited. Ladies and gentlemen, I have in the house with me today Mr. Elozonam. The very Elozon. I don't know why you guys not clapping. We need more applause. Yes. Oh my gosh, because your adverts, you know how many of your adverts are posted on my page?
I keep saying like, okay, all right, good. So that means this is good.
Yes, very, very, very creative. And today you're going to spill the secrets for us today. How you get creative, what tickles your fancy. But let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
Mr. Elozonam, the first thing I heard about you that shocked me was that you're a twin.
Yes.
Where's your twin brother?
He's in the Netherlands.
Is in the Netherlands?
Yeah.
He left you here.
They all left me here. My younger brother's in Canada, so I'm the only one that's here.
Oh, really?
I have abandonment issues now. And Nigeria caused it Nigeria.
Yeah, I can understand that. So tell us a bit about growing up, just a little bit.
Okay, well, I mean, I would say the one that's relevant to this conversation. We're three boys. Yes, 3 boys, and
Born in Lagos.
Yeah.
Okay.
So growing up was I had a soft life. I wouldn't even lie.
Enjoyment. You can tell
I
now.
had a soft
See your
life.
skin.
I had a soft life. My dad obviously was paying attention, and he saw. I don't know whether he saw the future or something, but he bought us a computer.
Okay.
And we started tinkering around with it.
Okay.
Beat making apps, games, animation apps. My brother liked to animate, so he was learning how to animate. We're 14.
Your twin brother.
My twin brother, yeah.
Okay.
So all of us were making beats and music, and I think it was music that kind of started us on this creative journey. And we also watched. My parents were movie heads, so we also watched a lot of movies growing up. So Star Wars, everything from all the 80s, Terminator, everything. We were exposed to such creativity at an early age.
Yeah.
So we're always trying to mimic stuff like that, and so growing up was like that. So we went to school, and we also just kept on going. We kept on going. My brother kept on going with animation. I was trying to make beats. And to us, all of these things were hobbies because how would you make money from it? You get, especially in the Nigerian climate back then. And so we just had fun. We're having fun. We're having a great time. So,
where are you guys from?
Delta State. Ubuluku specifically. Yes.
Okay. But your name sounds Igbo. So Delta
Igbo.
Igbo.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So how did you now manage to navigate from all of that into... Okay, I think we should start from Big Brother Nigeria. How did you get into Big Brother Nigeria? And why?
Why?
Yes,
okay.
Because you seem to be very creative. Were you doing all this your creative stuff before you went for Big Brother?
Yes. I started making videos in 2017. I got into the house in 2019. So after school, this life. After school, so when I was in school, during summer holidays, my dad would always make sure that we were not idle. Okay. So I had summer jobs right from year 1. So my first 2 years, I worked in a leasing company in human resources. And then my 3rd year, I worked as a DJ. I was like, I'm tired of office work. I don't like the corporate sector,
yeah.
blah, 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 blah. Even though I learned from it, but I'm like, I want to do something else. So I just chilled at home. And then when the opportunity came, I was a DJ for a very nice bar in Ikoyi.
Nice.
So I DJ'd. And then I also went back. During NYSC, I worked in investment banking. And then I got an internship into DDB.
Oh,
yeah, so I worked.
That's
where all of this.
From.
That's where it came from. So
because I knew there was a difference.
Yeah. So
DDB is an advertising agency.
Yes.
For those of you that don't know. Yeah.
So I was bounced around as an intern from department to department. So what they do is, as an intern, they'll pass you around to find where you fit in the most. So I started with strategy and business. It was boring. Bro,
excuse me.
It was boring. It was so boring. You have to do some research. It's like, I want to sleep. So after that, the next department was production. And when I got into production, that was where I stayed.
Wow.
Because from there, I started producing radio adverts. There are a lot of, am I allowed to mention brands?
Yes, you are.
A lot of MTN ads that I did, especially radio ads. You hear my voice on MTN, Unilever, Dano, a lot of them that I produced from 2012 to 2018. So you can imagine the body of work, and these brands were advertising heavily.
Heavily,
So in a
yeah.
month, I can produce up to 15, 20 radio adverts for different, and MTN was heavy on advertising.
They're still heavy on that.
They're still heavy on exactly. So I had enough practice. I started doing voiceovers. I mean, my boss back then was like, "Oh, do this voiceover," and I did it. I'm like, "Okay, there's something here," and I started doing voiceovers as well as producing radio ads. So it was in DDB that I learned the creative process, especially
see.
when dealing with clients.
Yeah.
Right. So the brief comes in, strategy and business dissects the brief. They send it to the creative department.
Yeah.
Creative department comes up with the scripts and art direction. When the scripts are approved by the client, they send it down to production, and we handle the production of the TV ads and radio adverts, jingles, and everything. So we're mostly privy to that process. They would carry us along and yada yada yada, and so that's how I learned the process, that whole creative process, especially when dealing with clients. So 2018, 2017 came. I started creating videos because I was watching Brother Shaggy.
You interned for how many years?
I interned for 3 months, and then
3 months,
they
okay.
gave me a full-time job in 2013.
Okay,
So my internship
okay.
was 2012 October to December, and then
Okay.
by January they gave me a
Give you a
full-time
full-time
job, and I
job.
was there from 2013 to 2018. Yes, I was there
5
for
years.
yeah,
Or more
about
than-
or more
yeah,
than.
more
So
than five.
collectively, I was there for like 6 years
6 years,
because I
yeah.
was there in 2011. They went for NYS. Came back 2012. So if you add it all up, I was there for like about 6 years. 2017 came, and I was like, Omo, I'm seeing these Instagram videos. This is something I can do.
Yeah.
King Batch, Adam W, all these guys were all these
Yeah.
Vine guys were creating,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I can do this now. And then I started. The good thing was the environment that I was in, my 9 to 5 environment, fostered that creativity.
Yes.
So when we're not doing anything,
Yeah.
I have a writer. We come put our heads
them
together.
together.
So I
Oh,
was
I
using the
see.
resources around me to get what I wanted to get. So with film, with produce, I had to learn how to edit, because before that, I was a sound engineer. I would make beats and mix. I was always running away from videos. I was running away because I was like, this is too much work. I could get my brothers to do it, because since they were, they
Yeah.
did that stuff. But how everybody has what they're doing. How
Yeah.
would you
We can't rely
disturb
on
them
people.
every time? So
Yeah.
I had to learn. I took leave one day and spent like 3 or 4 days doing a crash course on video editing from YouTube. And then that's where I started. So to Big Brother, because
So
my
you were doing those videos and posted online, but were they getting
they were
attraction?
trying. It was trying because the content is so niche. It is so not
yeah.
nice, so niche. So it was trying. So like I did different things. Like I did different. I had to tap into the Big Brother thing before I went into the house. So I had a cliffhanger
Oh,
show.
okay.
Where I was interviewing Big Brother
Oh,
ex-housemates,
yes.
and that also boosted my numbers.
Okay.
It was doing that. So I'll do that with the skits I was doing. I would mix them up, trying to, use my brain to get what I wanted. And then what happened? The following year, I decided to audition for Big Brother. Now, 2018, I auditioned for Big Brother. I didn't get as far as the first round.
Okay.
2019, I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing. My manager back then was like, yo, go for Big Brother. Go for Big Brother. This would help. Everybody around me was telling me, go for Big Brother. I tried. I didn't get again past the gates. Because that first day is always war. So here's a pro tip. If you want to do live auditions for Big Brother, go on the
Yeah.
second day. Pro
Are you
tip.
serious?
Second day. Because everything's calmer. So later down the line, they said, they're doing video auditions. And
Yeah.
then I submitted a video. And then they called me back. And from
And
there,
you know
that
you're
was...
good in videos, so
what I did was not...
Are you
They're not,
serious?
I just took my phone. Hi, my name is this. No, somebody recorded me because we're shooting a short film. My DOP them just picked up the phone and he recorded me. I just walked. I said, hey, 20 seconds. My video was 20 seconds.
Wow.
And they picked me. So the reason I did that was because I wanted the exposure. I just didn't want to go for Big Brother because I was searching for fame. Fame to me is a means to an end.
yeah.
Right? And I wanted the exposure for my craft. Right? I felt like it was sluggish. I felt like trying to break into like a new territory was tough because my content is different. And me, I
Different.
knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I could not be somebody else. I could not be like Brother Shaggy or Mr. Macaroni. I could only be myself.
Yes.
So and I knew my limitations. I knew the terrain I was working with.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me just, do a growth hack. Let me try Big Brother. And Big Brother was plan B.
What was plan A?
Plan A was this. What you're seeing now,
Same.
that was plan A. Plan B was supposed to help plan A. So with or without Big Brother, I
You
still would have gotten
would
here.
have done, yeah.
Yeah. So Big Brother was just to assure that growth, and that was why
I like what
went
you
into-
called it, a growth hack.
It's a growth hack.
So that's where the strategy comes
In.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boring strategy.
Yes,
So, well, yeah, I mean, yes, the boring strategy, because I mean, I was young. I was fresh out of school. My mind was all over the place. You now want to come and put me inside strategy, and whenever I wasn't my thing, I wasn't creative.
yeah.
That was what I was, because I was in HR. I did investment banking. I served in Owerri. I did investment banking in Owerri, and I was always bored. I was always bored. Friday night was always good because we'll go to party.
Got
And
it.
if you guys know Owerri, you know Owerri is
a happening
a happening town. So that was my saving grace. But I was always bored. And then back then you're young, you're not that self-aware, right? A lot of young people are lucky. Some young people are lucky to be self-aware, to know what they want to do
At the
that
end,
young age.
yes.
But that wasn't me. I didn't know what I wanted to do. As far as I was concerned,
Yeah.
the things I like to do, you couldn't make money
Money
from
out
them.
of them.
How would you
Yeah.
do that, right? Not a lot of agencies. In fact, DDB was the only agency that had an in-house production department, right? And that was how I grew.
Yeah.
So taking me into the corporate sector, especially when I was dreading it, was bad for me. But
It helped you.
it helped, like
It did.
Yeah.
moving down the line,
Yeah,
I had to apply some
Some
sense,
sense.
right? To know that, okay, I needed to do something strategic to grow.
Yeah. And I usually tell people that all the time. You need to know that everything you pass through in life is preparing you for that particular thing you want to be in the future. So even if it feels boring now, please still take it serious.
See.
Because it will help you
This thing
later
that
on.
you have said,
Yeah.
this thing that you will not realize it until you get to that
Get-
point,
yeah.
right? And I don't know, have you read this book, The Alchemist?
No, I haven't.
Guys, read The Alchemist. This thing that you have just said,
I'll read
that's
it.
the basic underlining message of that
Message,
book.
you see?
Like, things are, everything, when you want
Preparing
something,
you.
things will prepare you for what you want. And you will only see it when you look back. When you've gotten to a point, you look back and you see
Yeah.
tiny different things that have happened that are so significant that if you pick one out, you will not be where you are today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happened to me too.
Same here.
Right? So now, Big Brother, you had a game plan before you went there.
No. Again, self-awareness comes very, very slowly.
Gradual, yeah.
Before I entered the house, I didn't watch Big Brother like that. I was one of those social media consumers of Big Brother. I would see the gist happening online and
Yeah.
everything. Fine. When I got into Big Brother, I was like, because they asked me, what is your strategy? I said, I want to be that guy that, everybody likes, kind of like Miracle strategy, because everybody liked Miracle. I'm like, I want to be that guy, playful, and they just told me, okay. So I went in there just trying to vibe. My eyes were so on the prize, and the prize for me was the exposure. In my
okay.
mind, I'm like, even if I do 1 week in this house, it would do something. 1 week. Just stay in the house 1 week. I wasn't thinking about poking anybody, provoking anybody. No game. There was no game plan. My only game plan was to stay as long as I could in that
As you
house.
could, yeah.
Everything that happened naturally, because I just let myself go into the system, and I took that whole experience as one long holiday, away from life, away from stress, away from everything that was doing me. So there was no strategy. The only thing I had my eyes on was just stay. Each week guarantees more popularity. Each week you stay. So we're always like, yeah, one more week. And that was it for me, for real.
Is there anything that happened in the house that you regret? Anything significant?
Nothing.
Nothing, right?
Because I stayed there for 2 months. Like, I was there for exactly 2 months, which was more
Why?
than...
Why did you think you were there for 2 months? Do you think it's just because of your likability?
I don't know if it was because of my likability. I think it was because of the ship.
Okay.
I think it was because of the ship. I mean,
And that wasn't a strategy.
that just happened. It wasn't a strategy. That I did not intend for that to happen. In fact, when I was going into the house, my people said, "Don't enter a ship. Don't enter a ship. Don't enter a ship." Bah, the first week, ship. I'm just like, it wasn't intentional, because I mean, in there, we're given tasks, right? And so my creativity could flourish.
Yeah.
Right. So if only a few people, like, for stuff like creativity,
It's not everybody.
it's not
for
everybody that sees it.
Yes.
It's not everybody that sees it. People there's some people that see it and appreciate it, but it's not everybody that
Yeah.
sees it. People would prefer to latch onto the basketballs of everything.
Yeah.
Right. So people in the house knew I was creative, and some people outside knew, and maybe that's what informed them to root for me. Right. But the shape was the main factor.
Oh, it was a blessing in disguise.
It actually was. To
But
be
were
fair.
were you disappointed when you eventually got out of the house? Were you disappointed?
Disappointed in what?
Like, I should have stayed till the last day. I should have won the prize. I should have gotten more followers.
No. I mean, when I got out the house, yes. When I saw my follower growth, I was kind of disappointed. It was huge.
Okay.
It was a huge leap.
Yes,
Right?
but you expected
I
more.
expected more. Before I entered the house, I was at 20. I remember exactly I was at 25K on Instagram.
Okay.
25K. When I got out after 2 months, I was at 225. And I expected a lot more. I was like, this is it. Okay, all right. We go from there.
Yeah.
We move from there. That was the only disappointment I had.
So when you got out of the house, so I want to know what happened immediately. So did you just say, oh, you know what, I want to start doing this video so that people would see that I can do it? Or did brands approach you immediately because they know you? Or did you use your connection with DDB, to get brands? Because you were on a roll, like
I knew I was
from one brand to the other, to the other, to the other. Yeah.
So what happened was I got out the house. Before the house, we had made a lot of videos. I had created a lot of content. About 2 years
really?
worth of content. Yes, 2 years worth of content I was creating, and I was getting better.
Yeah.
So before the house, me and my team, we did this again. Bring us back to strategy. We created about 3 or 4 dummy ads. Right, the products did not exist. They were supposed to be funny, but as a brand, you could see yourself in
In it,
that.
yeah.
Right, so it was intentional, and we put it out there. We created an app called the SARS app. An app that would help you detect where SARS is, so you can avoid them.
Wow.
Because it was a prevailing issue back then. Still,
Yes, it was
in,
the-
20,
yes.
in 2018, 2019, it was an issue.
Wow.
So we created an app that would help you avoid SARS. It doesn't exist. It's just a product that Then we
You're saying,
That's
wow, I know
brilliant.
you're
That's
going
why I
you're
said-
gonna do it.
This guy is a genius. So.
Then we
Bro,
created,
can you just accept you're a genius?
it's a team effort. It's
Okay.
a team. So that's the thing. It's always a team. I can't do all these things by myself, bro. It was a team effort. So we created another app called the Bro app or the Chick app, an app that helps the sexes, both sexes, understand each other, because there's always a communication
Yeah.
barrier between men
Yeah.
and women, especially
Yes.
men and women in relationships. So we created a fake app that would help you interpret what she really means or what he really means when he speaks. So you could see yourself as a brand in that
In
type
that
of storytelling.
yeah.
So we put all of those out before. So I told my team, okay, when I'm in the house, I give them a hard drive full of all my past videos. So as I'm in the house, they keep on putting out this content, so people can see it. And then when I got out the house, we kept on creating new videos and stuff. And by virtue of that whole Big Brother thing, you would get some brands come at you, especially with the kind of content that you're putting out and your popularity. You would
Yeah.
get some brands
Yeah.
come at you. So anytime a brand would be like, okay, this is our chance to actually
Show them what.
what we can do. So we'll put our backs into it, bring our A game, whatever it is, however it is, would say, okay, we'll have to do. And then no video was the same as the last, not different
Of course,
concept,
yeah.
different style, different everything. And that was what we did. And then COVID hit. Prior to COVID hitting, we had some conversations with, again, TomTom. And I don't know if you can remember that TomTom was blasting my ads on Snapchat, on YouTube, everywhere they could. So they gave us a task. They wanted organic videos,
Okay.
like that organic Instagram stuff. But that's not what we do. I'm not gonna put my phone on and like, hi guys.
Yeah, I can relate.
I'm not gonna do that.
We can relate.
We can relate.
By
Yes.
the time we sent them the scripts, they were like, this is not what we wanted. We did a whole presentation, but this is interesting. It's not what we wanted to do, but it's interesting. Let's
Go
go
for
with
it.
it. We shot 3 ads, and after the back, because clients will give back and forth, they were very impressed, and they were like, okay, this wasn't the original idea, But now, because we have these ads, we have to change our marketing plan. And that's where the whole blowout, the whole exposure came from. Because you have these ads that were very well shot and they make your brand look very good.
Good, yeah.
So we have to put money behind the exposure. So from there, we just kept on going and kept on going. And if you check my Instagram, I'll put it right there. I create amazing ads. That's what I was trying to sell. That's what I was trying to sell. I'm not an influencer, or I didn't consider myself as an influencer. I create amazing ads. So you people will bring your money, so I'll create amazing ads for you.
Yes.
That's it. That's actually it.
But it's good. I love the fact that you stuck to what your core is, irrespective of the pressure, because I'm sure there were a lot of pressures there. Like
my
everybody's just
God.
holding their phone, doing this. But that's not what you do. Like you said, you're a creative to the core, like a professional
I mean,
in the business.
You made a brand like change their marketing
Plan.
which is one of the hardest. Like you'd never see that randomly.
Yes.
You know? Trust me, you're a genius.
So I wanted to ask you, because I know then when everybody came out of the house, we had people who had a lot of followers.
Oh.
They had more exposure and everything. But even as a then, I knew I was following, and I knew that you got a lot more brand collaborations than them.
Yeah.
So would you say it's because of your creativity or the way you present your adverts?
I think it's a plethora of things. It's the fact that I was doing, and please, you guys don't mistake any of my words for pride. This is just mere observation and fact.
Yeah.
I was doing what nobody else was doing. You couldn't get my kind of content from anybody else.
Yeah.
So it's just me. So I created a product that I could sell, that I could only create. So that was one factor. Oh, we need great quality content. We've seen this brand and what Elozonam has done for this brand. We want something like that. Nobody else can give us something like that. So they'd come to me. That's one. Two, like you said, I'm a professional. I've been in the system, in the corporate system, so I understand deadlines, timelines. I understand
Brand guidelines.
exactly, and responsibility.
Yeah.
So I have to always carry my clients along. Their emails. I'm not one of these people that how far, how much is this? There has to be a written conversation, email trail, or WhatsApp trail. Something has to be on paper.
Yeah.
I have to give you feedback.
Yeah.
And I have to carry you along. Because you're spending money. You want to spend money. So the least I could do is carry you along. And not make you feel somehow that you're spending money. Once you're spending, I will respect you. I'm not one of those, because when I hear people take money from brands and they don't do job, I'm like, who are you?
Yeah.
Like, as in, because my name, your name precedes you.
Yes.
I don't want any situation where somebody's talking about me and they're saying bad things, because I'm a professional. I understand that whole, workflow. So, and that's the second thing. I think the third would be, I think it's those two things really. The content I give, plus how I handle my clients. I have a team, like I said. I have a producer, I have a writer, and then I have my crew members.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a flow.
And then there's you as well.
And then
So
it's
like
me.
you mentioned something very important. Nobody can give you that kind of content. So
Yeah.
even if you want an advert that is like that of Elozonam and you go to an agency, the advert does not have Elozonam. There's still the Elozonam factor inside it,
Yes.
which makes it very, very unique. So, and then you're able to defy some odds, because a lot of people will be like, no, you have to have, when you have more followers, you get more clients and all that. But you're able to defy that
It's not about
because
that,
you have
oh.
quality.
Yeah, it's exactly. Because of
Yeah,
quality.
because of the quality.
Because I won't lie, I felt, that whole Big Brother Nigeria pressure is there. It's real.
I know.
It's very real. When you come out and you're like, this person is here who really is just okay, and they're following this person. Next the person enters 1M, you're still stuck on 300. Next the person is in 2M, you're still stuck on 500. Just like, what is it? It will get to you.
Of course.
It will really get to you. So after that Big Brother Nigeria pressure, at some point, because it's easy to get caught up in the drama of things, especially when you've just come out of the house and maybe after a reunion. It's very, very easy to get caught up in the drama. And I got caught up in the drama. One day I'm just like, what am I doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
This wasn't the plan. Let's get back to it. I just caught myself. I'm like, this is not it. This is not why I went into the house. I went into the house for a purpose, for the exposure, to sell something, and to make money, to be very frank. And I blocked out all the noise and I sat down and we focused.
Wow. That's amazing. Great story, great story, and I think a lot of you guys are learning. Yes, it's good to look for fame. Or according to Elozonam, he was looking for exposure, but before he went there, he had a plan, he had a strategy. What's your own strategy? Because a lot of popular people, like I keep saying, they are still suffering tonight because they get popular and then they start to find themselves. You do understand? They find like, where is my talent? What can I do? You get what I'm saying? So it's better if you're going for Big Brother. I think you're about to start another Big Brother now.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and then it also underscores one fact. I hope I can. There's somebody I want to bring on the show who I think will help us explain it, or maybe you can also explain it better. There are ways to becoming relevant. There are ways to getting exposure. You can decide to say, oh, I want to work hard and small, I'll
Yes.
get there. And you can say, you know what, I need a growth hack, like Elozonam, which one would you advise all the time?
Look, I would advise a mix of both.
Okay.
I won't lie. I would advise a mix of both. Yeah, working diligently is good, but you also have to work smart. In fact, working smart will get you there faster than working
Faster.
hard.
Yeah.
But if you mix both of them, then you have longevity.
Yeah.
If you work hard, if you're a hard worker and you work smart, trust me, you would cement yourself where you want to be faster and stronger. Because brand collaborations with other creatives as well, these things cannot be overemphasized at all. You have to I have an issue with collaborating because naturally I am a loner.
I can understand.
Naturally I'm a loner, and sometimes because of the kind of content that I make, not a lot of people want to like work with me because they don't maybe understand what I'm trying to do, until it comes
It
together.
comes together.
So sometimes it's like, and then I just don't, and then I just start to work with. That's why I like to work with actors that can get like proper actors that can
Actors,
give
yeah.
me what I want without the fear of I don't understand it. Because
Yes.
actors understand. They
Yes,
understand stories.
And even if they don't understand, they can still deliver.
You can still deliver. You get, and when they see like, oh yeah, this is actually, this
Yeah.
is what you're trying to. This is because it's very hard to paint your vision from your mind the way you're seeing it until it comes together on paper. When you see the finished material, then your vision becomes clear, and then everybody else can understand it. But up until then, it's just you explaining. Oh, we're going to put this music. I'm going to say this. I'm going to do this. We're going to do that, and then bam. Okay, we get the underlying idea, but we don't see the big picture until it's done. So because of that, I've now like been kind of lazy, or not lazy, apprehensive about reaching out for collaborations. So I just do my thing by myself. But now I'm making a conscious effort to collaborate because collaboration is fun. It exposes your brand to other markets or other
Audience,
demographic, the
yeah.
audience and everything. So yeah, combination of both hard work and smart work.
Smart work. Okay. Cool. So how has it been for you? Because I know, like you said, you're a loner. You seem to be like an introvert, and then it's always a problem with a lot of creatives. How do you overcome that? And how do you network?
So I used to be very, very extroverted.
Really?
Had energy. I would like to go out. I would like to be in.
You're
I
not
was
an
very
introvert then.
sociable. I'm not an introvert.
Okay.
Like, I would say I'm an ambivert. I have my days. But these days now, I find myself more alone than usual. I just want to be by myself, sit down, watch Netflix. The only time I get to like socialize is maybe if I'm going out to party, events, and work. Otherwise, I just stay by myself. Now, I'm a dog dad. I got a dog 2 days ago, my first pet,
Really?
to deal with the loneliness that comes, because it gets really lonely. To deal with the loneliness that comes with being, with liking your own space. So I bought a pup, and now
Okay.
we're doing this life together for now until I get married. Now, so I go out, I make a conscious effort to go out to events. So you see me at a lot of movie premieres because I love the cinema.
Okay.
I love the cinema experience. I love watching. Oh my God, I love watching movies.
Yeah.
It's like a drug. So you see me at movie premieres a lot and other fun things because I know this life, you have to balance it somehow. You can't be indoors all the time. You have to have a full, rich experience if you can with life.
Yeah.
So I try to go out when people invite me out. I will show up for them, have a great time, and then bounce. So I try to find the balance somehow. And then I entertain friends every now and then. But my social battery just kind of depletes at some point and I want to be alone. Yeah.
Cool. You guys have questions before we continue? Any question for Elozonam?
No, so for
I know
me,
you will
it's
have
just
questions.
no. For me, it's just the way you were intentional about everything, you know. But moving forward, like, what's your intention like moving forward? Because this is just ends here. Because I have my mind. I'm thinking movies. Is that it for you?
Yeah.
He already
So
started.
yes, I started. So I have a show running on YouTube. It's called My Name Is Zozo.
Yeah.
It's a project that is dear to my heart because this is the biggest I've ever done. Right, last year was Hello Neighbor. Hello Neighbor was pretty good because that one allowed me to express my creativity without worrying about my terrain. Right, so I did what I wanted to do. I played around with it. This time around, I'm like, okay, so let's worry about my terrain. Let's worry about it, but still try to be a little niche. You get try to give the intellectuals what they want plus the mass market.
The mass market.
Right. So I created this project. Going forward, yes, I want to create movies, short films, and movies, because somebody has to do it.
Somebody has to do
Somebody
it,
has
right?
to do it. You know.
But why did you decide to just say, "Oh, I want to start mine"? What about getting into Nollywood? Is that not a plan?
I've been doing that. I mean,
Okay.
I have a movie with Inkblot, A Weekend to Forget. I've done quite a bunch of projects with other people.
Okay.
Yeah, if they call me, I'm very picky as well about
Of
what
course,
I
of
do.
course, yeah.
I've had people reach out to me with some scripts, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, what is this? You've seen my work, and you write the script for me?
Like,
Yeah.
Why?
sorry, do you get a vibe like as if you kind of like it's even awkward saying it, like proud, based on the fact that you're a creative and you know exactly what you want? Do you get that vibe
No, because when I try to communicate, I don't communicate like
like
that.
that?
I won't tell you this script is dead or whatever. I'll tell
Yeah.
you that I don't personally like the script. I don't see myself in it. It's not something I want to do. And you're allowed to say that. You're very, very much allowed to say that because people reject all these A-list Nollywood actors. They reject scripts all the time because they don't see themselves in it. And it's very, very okay because it's an integral part of building your brand.
Yeah.
It's an integral part of. You will not see Tom Cruise in rubbish. You will not see Tom Cruise in rubbish. You will not see Hugh Jackman in rubbish. You will not see Ryan Reynolds creating rubbish.
Yeah.
So why should you, because you want to try and work with people? I'm not in Nollywood like that too. I've done a few Nollywood projects, but I'm not in Nollywood like that because I'm very picky about what I do. I'm very picky about what I. If you can have a YouTube project now, but if I read the story and I'm like, oh my god, this is an amazing story. I know I've seen some scripts. A Weekend to Forget. I read. I'm like, yes, this is a whodunit thriller. I want to do this. But you come and send me once we're at the beach and every other word out of my dialogue is babe, 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 baby, babe. I love you. Yo, come on.
Oh my
Come on.
God.
So it's not a thing of pride. You just know what you want, and that is very okay.
But where do you see like the creative industry generally? Where do you see it in Nigeria now? What's the state to you? Do you think it's growing in adverts?
Yeah.
And
So I'll start with music. Yeah. We know what Nigerian music is doing. Nigerian music is epic.
yeah.
And the Nigerian music video directors are also pulling their weight so hard that I wish they're the ones making film.
Film.
So what they do with visual effects, with storylines, with just their style of delivery, I just wish that they would just take that energy into filmmaking, right? Advertisements for adverts. Yes, I think Nigeria is also pulling their weight
Of course.
a lot. But my own issue is that because I've been in the system, I know what is happening. A lot of Nigerian ads are the way they are because they bring in South African directors, which is a problem.
They still do that? Oh wow.
Yes, because South African directors are getting better. They're not going to stay and wait for Nigeria to catch up. They will get better. And then everybody wants the best. The client will ask for them.
But is
That's
it
the
really
truth.
the best they're getting? Because at some point there seems to be like a disconnect because they are South Africans, they are not Nigerian.
Like
They
the
don't
way-
write the scripts.
Yeah.
They don't write the scripts.
But they're not into. But even the interpretation sometimes. I don't know about me. I'm just talking about myself. I see the script and sometimes I just feel something is off. It feels foreign because I feel like they're not interpreting it.
Well, that comes down to the client, though, because
Okay.
I think the producers are South African, but the creatives are Nigerian. So the Nigerians will write the scripts, will do all the all the due process, but the South African direct is mostly the director and the DOP that are South
DOP South
African. The
African.
two of them. Everybody else is Nigerian. The crew members, the gaffers, everybody's Nigerian. But the DOP and the
director.
director are South African. So they would, but you now have your clients there, you have the agency there to make sure that the communication it comes across as it should be. So I know a few Nigerian producers that are producing amazing ads, like
Of
amazing,
course,
amazing ads. So I would say that in terms of advertising, we're good. Film, however, I think Nigerians are good. I think Nigerians are some of the most talented people in the world. But I also think that Nigerians are swimming against the current, especially when it comes to film. This country is too expensive. It's too expensive. It is too expensive. It's so expensive that as a creator, you cannot dream. You are not allowed to even dream big because by the time you add the money versus what you're going to get out of it, it's like it's not worth it. Then also the terrain. You cannot shoot. How many people do you see shooting on the road? Have you ever tried shooting on the road before?
Oh, Agberos and the rest.
Lord have mercy. It is a problem. You don't realize how bad it is. On my own street, I had to pay on my own street in front of my house.
What? No, that's epic.
And these are boys that see me every day. They say, baba, every day I'll give them. I have. When I was shooting, they gathered. How do you want to film? Yeah, exactly. So that's another. That's a major. You guys don't realize how bad this thing is. It's a major problem. I remember one time we were shooting an ad for MTN where we used a lot of these artists, Praise, all of them back then.
Yes, I remember.
We shot at Ijora, that old Nepa.
Yes, old
Ijora,
Nepa building. Yeah.
Inside there, we shot inside. That place is a gated area. It has a gate.
They came inside there.
They came to the gate.
Are you
the
serious?
They got. We tried to ignore them because we're not outside. You just saw all the mad cars, all the Benzes and the Ranges. And
they saw them
everything inside. They saw them coming in. They came to the gate. They sent two of them first came. Next, and they sent for more boys, and they sent for themselves.
They called themselves.
And they started to come. They were at the gate. They started getting angsty. Started getting agitated. Started, gyrating and everything. We had army guys for security, and even though we had the army guys there, we still had to pacify them, and we had to just call one of them inside. We did that, and we sorted them out inside a gated area. And it has happened several times. I was on Rumor Has It. We were going to shoot in an Airbnb. Once they saw the boss with the camera equipment and everything, they gathered. It's a problem. It's a serious problem. So I don't shoot on the street because I don't want that type of stress. Every content you see that I do, I'm always inside. If I'm shooting outside at all, the camera is in my car and I'm driving in the car and the camera is in the car. Somebody's filming me or a drone. But I don't shoot outside because I don't want that kind of stress.
That limits.
It limits it so bad. Yeah, it does. It's so, and everything else is expensive. I don't know if you guys remember Inception, the movie.
Yes.
There was a scene where they were fighting in a corridor and they were and you know that Christopher Nolan built that set.
He built the set.
Imagine building a set like Nigeria. That's the entire movie budget.
That's your own movie.
And then some for that one
That's
scene.
your own movie budget.
So you cannot dream big because of where we are, and that's why Nollywood is not growing as fast as it should be, because the people that are in Nollywood, they're talented. They're very, very talented.
Yeah.
They're just victims of the economic system.
And I think because I've also been around the music started to, because we're praising the music right now, but that's how the music started. It's interesting you said directors in the music should come to the
movie space.
So I've actually been in the music as an artist. I've also been in the music as a director too as well, So, and I saw how we were building the whole thing. But at the time, we did not know that that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
I saw how we were experimenting, and come to it right now and seeing how music is doing. Then I would say pretty much that's how the movie too would transit at the end of the day. Like it's because it's also getting better too as well. We had
Yes.
It's
Breath of
getting
Life.
better.
Getting better.
You've seen Breath of Life, right?
Yeah,
What do you think
Breath
about
of Life was an amazing film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had the director and the DOP
Yeah.
here, and although they
Oh.
complained about
They
Agbero,
complained about
Sika
Gbe.
Agbero. They said
And-
and they shot, the thing is, the interesting thing about it is that they went to Ibadan.
Yes,
And
to
they
film.
thought maybe the Agbero
Ah.
would be less. And then, they were surprised. They were surprised. And basically, one thing again was the budget they had to shoot to. Anybody would have thought that was a
A
big,
huge budget because
You know,
it said 500
yeah,
million,
500 million.
$500,000.
$500,000.
You'd have thought that would do amazing thing in
And
Nigeria, but
he
they
said
exceeded it.
it wasn't enough. But do you feel like there's a projection though in the movie?
A projection how?
Like it's from where it was to
yeah,
now,
it will grow.
and
Yeah.
so-
It will grow.
but will it take time? A lot
will
of time,
take-
more time.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell because on one hand you have the Nigerian YouTube movie producers, right? They're churning out content every week, right? And on the other hand, you have the ones that are trying to make a difference,
Yeah.
right? So
It's-
it will get there. It will get, maybe something needs to be done to shock the system to make people like sit up, do you get, and to start competing on the world stage. But it will get there because
The SS
mean,
to the
Yeah.
president who was here, and he's actually highlighted how we need funds in the creative.
Yes, but the funds is not even enough. It's not
Yeah.
just the problem is the infrastructure. The problem is the mindset of the people. Because if they give you 1 billion naira, it will still finish.
Do you think government should come in?
It's like Elo is tired. Elo is tired.
now the Nigerian music industry is doing so well because they have autonomy. They don't operate under any laws,
laws,
right?
yeah.
Nobody's checking them. Nobody's
Yeah.
restricting them. So they're allowed to flourish,
Yeah.
right? They can do whatever they want to do. They can grow and compete at the world,
World
stage,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? For movies now, if the only thing that's killing us is money because for movies it takes longer
Yeah.
than
Yes,
music
to
videos.
music videos,
It
yes.
takes longer to produce,
Yeah.
Produce, yeah.
and it's more money.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a lot
more
more
money.
Right, it's a lot more money. So if the government enters inside, things will get more expensive. Now, if the government gets inside to subsidize these things,
Okay, but they're providing funds now.
if they're providing funds,
Yes,
that's
that's
what
what
I'm
they're
saying.
doing. That's what they're
That's
doing.
what I'm saying.
But-
Because
but
where
at
do
what
we-
cost?
Where do so because the question would be where do the movie industry get their money from? Because that type of money from because the SS to the president said okay that's why he's involving the banks and all of that because that type of money we can't stress it enough. Where do movie people get that type of money from?
Individual executive producers.
Yeah, that's the only before now.
Are you
That's
talking
the
about
only
brands?
source. But no, not brand.
No.
Like
Okay.
individuals.
I put my money in movies.
Like for
before.
example,
That type of money because you just said now that we need huge investment.
So you saw Black Book, right?
Black Book.
Black
Nigerian
Book.
is it a Nigerian
Yes,
movie?
Black
Okay,
Book's
I'll
on
check that
Netflix.
out.
RMD.
RMD, okay.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of the producer. The movie cost $1 million to make.
Okay.
Right? And if you see the credits and you see the amount of executive producers on that film, it was a lot.
did he make the money back?
Yes.
They did make the money back,
Made money
okay.
back, yes.
Because
it was Netflix. Netflix bought that film for twice.
Twice
Breath
the
of Life
amount.
also the director also came outside to say that's another thing, interesting thing, that 3 movies, they didn't make their money back, it's high budget, type of thing. That's another risk again. Do you think there still needs to be a structure for marketing and
Yes. Because I would say that I can relate to what he said because I put up my name is Ozo, right? I funded this project by myself and then with the help of brand sponsorships as well, right?
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be a YouTube show,
So, yeah.
right? It's on YouTube now. And I can tell you for free that I have not, in terms of the spend, in terms of the production budget, I have not made up to 5% back and 8 episodes are out. So you can run into that problem. There's marketing. There's marketing. And marketing is also expensive. If you want to do creative marketing, like how Bad Boys was done,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
especially Bad Boys. Bad Boys was really like the marketing was
Barbie.
insane. Barbie was done. How Tribe of Judah
Judah
was
was
done.
done, yeah.
You need to spend money.
You need to have a huge
You need to have
marketing
a
budget.
huge marketing budget, and that's part of the problem because you now have your production budget and you now have to find money for marketing. And sometimes marketing can run into 20, 30, 40 M.
Yeah.
Some movies don't cost that much.
Sure.
So it's a whole
Yeah.
it's a whole thing.
The whole, yeah.
It's a whole thing. And to make those types of movies, before Netflix came to Nigeria, before Prime came to Nigeria,
Yeah.
where would you consume those movies, those Nigerian movies? On African Magic.
African
Yeah.
Magic, yeah.
GST,
Yeah.
African Magic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there wasn't anything to encourage you to be that creative. I want to say, and you know, creativity is expensive.
Yes, it is.
There's nothing
Yeah.
encouraging you to do that. So our growth in terms of film production was kind of stunted because you're not getting your money back. So why would you go and spend a hell of a lot of money on VFX, on
You just wanna do
actors?
something and
yeah,
just
you
put
just
it
put
out.
out, and you're all see. No matter how creative you want to be, there has to be somebody on the team who is also thinking about the business.
The business side, yeah.
Yes.
Because creatives can get carried away.
Yeah.
I know that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to create something. So
Wanna
I
do
want
this.
this. I
Wanna
want
do
like
that.
VFX
Yeah.
here. I want this. Can we make it? I will always have to ask, can we afford this? And affording is not the money is there. It's the money is there versus how much
How
I'm going to
much
make
you
back.
gonna
Back, yeah.
Yes.
So there's
Yeah.
also somebody that has to control. The producer has to control the
Yeah.
business. The creative can do what it wants to do, but the producer has to be an anchor. But yo, we can't do this, so we can't afford this. We can't afford this. We can't afford this. We can afford this, however, so I can give you this, right? So there's so much to consider with film, way too much. Music you produce for 2-3 days, 1 week at best. Put it on YouTube. By virtue of the fact that you're a music star, you have Africa and some of the world or the world watching your. Put it on YouTube. You make your money back on YouTube.
Sure.
And even the directors of those movies, producers of the music video, they get their pay immediately. They get their.
They will give them money and they produce
yeah,
it. You get their pay immediately. Their profit
It's not
immediately.
like
Yeah,
it's not like.
And then you put out the music on YouTube,
And you still.
and your money is made. But for movies is so many things to consider. The actors you're using, because that's also a marketing plan.
Yeah,
The
that's
actors
what-
you're using,
yeah.
the type of story you're telling. Because that's what I noticed about the YouTube terrain. Because you know that there was this surge of YouTube movies
Yeah.
that came out
Yes.
this year.
Yes.
And almost all of them are centered around the same
The
thing.
same
The same
thing.
thing.
Love with trial and tribulation. You get? So the love has to be difficult. There has to be something.
Yeah,
There has
yeah.
to, by the time they eventually come together, it's sweet, right? This is what Nigerian YouTube
Yeah.
people are consuming,
Consuming, yeah.
right? So there's this type of story you're telling. That's what is going to help. That's why a lot of YouTubers are flourishing now because people in diaspora are watching those types of movies, you know, and so there's lots of things that you have to consider in terms of how what would make your movie successful.
Successful, yeah.
You know, relatability,
Really,
you
yeah.
know, and everything. Exactly. So I mean, imagine a Nigerian doing like sci-fi. It won't work here because
it won't work here.
Nigerians don't really
No.
consume sci-fi. You just be
No.
making it for a
Very
very
niche.
niche group of people. You know, so that's it.
And even those niche group of people, it will be hard to please them because they are used to the
They're
foreign
used-
standard.
Exactly.
So how do you want to beat that?
How do you want to beat
Yeah.
that? Except of course you do this finesse between like it being local, like Nigerian,
Yes,
with a lot
you-
of, and maybe your
yes.
storytelling is good, the performances are good. It's when you look at it like, I can actually appreciate this. Because how do you want to compete with Terminator of 1990
Not even the recent one.
when I was 2? How do you want to compete with Terminator? Like when I was like, how do you want to compete? Because when I see all these movies, I'm just like, I watched Deadpool and Wolverine yesterday.
Okay,
Oh, it's
Deadpool.
out now?
Yeah, it's out now.
I've been
Deadpool
waiting
and
for it.
I watched that film, and
You'd be like, what?
and every time I watch a good film, I saw Dune.
Yeah, Dune. Amazing movie too.
I'm just like,
How, w-
We're
So,
not there yet.
what's your music, movie, which for you, like, moving forward.
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Movies.
Okay, movies.
I'll find a way. I have to find a
You know
way.
the way you're saying it now, you've seen the interest in music now, and you might be that the Igbo-ness can come in and say, let's
Music-
make money.
Music is a tough nut to crack.
It
So,
is. A lot of
music-
people think
Music
it's
will
easy. It's
take
not.
your
It's not.
money before it gives you.
Gives
It might
you
never give you
money.
back. Oh.
It might never even give you back.
Especially
Take
for
your money.
artists.
And a lot of people don't. A lot of artists don't understand that it's the art of music and then there's the business of music.
Yeah,
Yes.
business of music.
And you have to know the business of music. You cannot ignore it. You have to know the business of music and then the artistry of it
Yeah.
for it to work.
Yeah.
Do you get? That's why managers are there. That's why all this, because you as a creative, Omo, your brain is full. Your brain is always full. You're always trying to create, and when you're trying to create, you don't have time for anything. So you need somebody that minds the music business for you. Because being a creative,
It's stressful in this part of the world.
I'm going through a burnout.
You know, I was going to come to that.
I'm going through burnout. I've been burnt out for a while since last year. So my productivity is kind of low. It's now that I'm trying to like really force it because that's how I deal with my burnouts. I stay in it. I just wallow in it. When I get tired,
You pick up
I
again.
just stand up. I have to get to the bottom before I can come back up. If I don't get to the bottom, it'll be tough for me to climb out of that burnout. So I have to burn out completely, get to the bottom, sit there and wallow until I hit it there.
And then like,
Then I stand up and then go and do something about it. It's when I'm at that bottom that I start to get ideas. So sometimes the burnout is quick. Sometimes it's long. And I'm going through my longest burnouts right now. So
because I know it's not easy going back to back to back to back with creative stuff. At some point, you burn out.
yeah.
Yeah.
You just and again, like
Especially for you that you don't want to do anything normal. You don't want to do something that is like what you've done before.
see. And I've started doing thoughtless content because at the end of the day, you still have to mind the business.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So your social statistics have to be high. You have to do so I'm like, you know what? Fine. Let me just do content that will take me all of 2 minutes to do. Right? Or I've seen let me do a reaction video. So people can engage. So
At
by the
least by the time you come back.
exactly. By the time I
Yeah.
come back, there's something else to give them, So right now I'm going through my longest burnout. I'm just going to sit down there and they're just, chill and then come out again. And people don't understand that reception also helps. If I put out content and I see that people are receiving it, it would also encourage me to create more.
Yes. Yes.
In fact, if people are like engaging a lot with the content, I might never enter a burnout.
Burnout. Yes. Yes.
I might never enter. So the burnout is there, and I'm trying to navigate and find out what people like, what I'm supposed to give them, and at the same time, staying true to myself and what I want to bring.
It's that,
So
but
like
I know it's hard,
it's
right?
hard.
Because at the end
It's
of the day, you've done
hard.
so many amazing stuff, and then people are expecting you to top that,
top it.
at every point in time.
And also to be consistent with it, because your own stuff, it's much more like you need to put a little bit more work to it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that consistency again is another thing. So you have to go through that process.
and it's
again.
expensive. Oh.
Expensive. That's
Oh
what
my
exactly
god!
is expensive.
Because so this is let me tell you guys how my system is, right? And this is without brands. Sometimes I get a brain like a jolt, like I get an idea.
Yeah.
Depends on where I am and how much of my brain I am applying, like intentionally. If I'm thinking about it, whether I'm in the shower or in the gym. This is where I get my best ideas from. Gym, because you're working out, there's blood flow, everything. Your brain is firing on on all cylinders. So I get an idea, right? And I think about it. I stew in it for a little while, and then I call my writer. I have a writer. His name is Chike. He's also very creative. We like the same type of stuff, so it's easy for us to
vibe,
and bounce around, And then he gives me ideas, and then I tell him, okay, go and write. He gets paid.
Of course.
Yep.
People are getting paid immediately.
Because I'd like to keep people motivated.
Motivated,
And
yeah.
money
Important.
is a good motivator.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Very
it also cuts out a lot of nonsense.
Nonsense.
Once money is inside it, you deliver. You're my friend, though. But once the money is there, we're now professionals.
Yeah.
Right? You deliver so we don't have any problem.
Yeah.
Right? Even if you're not my friend, you have to deliver. So it cuts out a lot of nonsense. So I get my script. I now look at it, okay, what do I need? I need makeup. I need VFX makeup. I need a house. I need this. So I now call my DOP. He'll come. He gets paid. Call my makeup artist. She gets paid. I'll call okay, the people that don't get paid, my manager doesn't get paid. Because we have a system.
Yeah.
Then I call, maybe if I have to get another actor, or
Actors.
if I'm selling something, they get paid. Right? And the cost rises with the economy. So all of these people get paid, and most of the time, especially with my own content, is from my pocket. Right? So you have to be sensible about these things as much as you want. Right now, I have this series, Back from the Future, my sci-fi series. I have 2 scripts that I haven't shot, and I got them last year. I've been sitting on 2 scripts since last year because they require more. So now I have to go and learn a new skill. I have to go and learn how to use After Effects to produce them.
To produce them
Yes,
yourself.
I have to go and learn VFX because I don't do VFX. My twin brother does VFX. But I'm like, I want to learn this thing so that I can paint the picture the way I want it painted. Right? So I'm going to sit down and I've been dragging my feet because I'm again at a burnout. So I've been dragging myself. I have to go and learn that skill so I don't have to spend more money producing content that maybe people might not even engage with. Right? So I'm trying to now add something else to it so that people can say, I'm like, oh my God, this is fresh, this is new. Do you get? So every time you have to shock the system, and it now comes down to how you started. If you start big, you set yourself up.
You set yourself up.
Yeah.
You have to constantly beat that. But again, as a creative, you can't start small.
You can start small.
You're doing yourself with the service.
Yes,
right?
especially on this level of creativity. You can't start small.
Look at what Americans are doing.
Yeah.
Look at what the Germans are doing. Look at what the Koreans are doing on TikTok. I'm just like, what? Look at what I say, it takes 1 month to create this video. 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 1 month. I'm just like, Jesus, what are we doing here?
Guys, it's not for everybody.
This is why
start with what you have, right?
Honestly.
But then there are different levels of creativity and there are different types of creativity. So what we're talking about now are people who are just doing it professionally, like Elo said. From the very beginning, he started professionally. So it's not like, oh, I'm just creating content. It's different. Yes. So,
I'm also like the money is spent, and so there are times that I'm just like, I have other bills to pay. So I have to just receive cents and just manage myself and this and that and that. So it's the system is expensive. And again, when I entered the house, the plan was because all these people that I work with today, they've been there with me since before I entered the house. So the plan was that I'd go into the house and I'd come out and I put money in these people's pockets because they've been there with me. So since that time till now, I've been getting people paid. I want to pay you. Let's agree on a rate. We're going to be giving me scripts. You're going to be showing up to film my stuff. We'll agree on a rate, so we don't have that money conversation until it's time for a review. Right? So the workflow is seamless. Right? So I don't think of everything myself. No, I can't. My strength is in execution.
Okay.
Is in production. That's where my strength is. I hardly write scripts. I've written a number of them.
So
but
you call yourself like a director?
I direct,
Yes.
I edit.
Yes.
I do sound design, I do, and then I act.
And you bring out the ideas sometimes.
So I have the seed.
Yes.
I have the seed. I know this is what I want to do. Go and do it. This is the idea. How we're going to execute it. Okay, fantastic. We have the base. Go and flesh it out. And then it gets fleshed out. And then I see it. I like it. I get ideas. And then I produce. I execute. So execution is my strength. Editing, post-production, acting, all those things. That's where my strength lies.
I feel like the value of creatives like you, the reward, of creatives like you should be different from the reward of like a creative that is just, quick.
Of course.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's where the problem is. You should be able to do just 1 or 2 things and be good for
a while.
Do you get? Like Spielberg come out, give us a movie, bam, it's gone for that 10 years.
Just go. That's because.
But can't you do that in Nigeria?
Yes, because
Do you know where we are? Have you realized where we are?
I wanted to even ask you, like, vis-a-vis your rate, vis-a-vis other people. At least yours should be like a little bit hard. Not even a little bit.
In my rates, I'm expensive.
Exactly.
Man, no, I'm expensive.
Yeah.
but not too the level of the value of what you're creating.
Because for
is,
me, the
people don't
value is
understand
not
it.
really about even the production quality and that. You can get that anywhere.
It's the idea.
It's the idea.
It's the idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's creative, it's
Yeah,
new,
it's the
it's
idea.
fresh, and
Yeah.
it immediately brands a product.
Yes.
I mean, look at what you did with Mano. I think
yeah.
Mano and I think Elozonam, just because of his detective, he just created a character and I used that to sell Mano.
Yeah.
That's not something that should be paid for.
At least you have to have like a share in Mano for by.
Look, that's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad
It's
idea.
not a bad idea because
Come
yes,
on.
I created a character for them, and I haven't used that character to
any-
advertise any
any
other
other
brand
thing.
or even as a.
No,
as
but
a
you have
skit.
a right to, right?
I have the right to. Yes, I have the
Yeah.
right to, but because again, professional courtesy.
Yeah, of
Like,
course.
I-
Of course.
I wouldn't use it because Mano. I do at least 2 videos for Mano a year. Right?
Okay.
Sometimes it's 1. So imagine having that character on the shelf, unproductive for a whole
For a
year.
whole year.
And then you bring him out and everything. You get it's a character that I know that if I decide to use,
Of course.
so many
course,
ideas
of
will come
course.
out of it.
Yeah.
But I've left it for them. Whenever they want to use it, they use it, you know. And until the day we part ways, do you get? They can't use that character. It's my
Yeah.
character. Do you get? So yeah. So those are the kind of things that I do for brands to at least just So in terms of engagement, and you said that thing that you see other people getting followers and this
Yeah.
and that. So I think the brands that are smart,
Yeah. They know.
don't pay attention to my engagement.
Yes.
My engagement is not the best out there for an influencer, because of the nicheness
Yeah.
of it, right? What the brand will now do, especially Mano, they will take that content I've given them, right, and blow it
blast
out.
it.
of proportion.
Yes.
If you take that kind of content and give it to an ad agency to produce content for you,
You spend a lot
a
more.
lot more.
Yes.
A
A
lot
1,000%, literally 1,000% more.
Yeah.
Right? So Mano understands that I am giving them quality.
Value, yeah.
And brand, like,
brand.
I cannot overemphasize that the branding that you're giving them, it's amazing. It's amazing.
They
Yeah.
take it, they blow it out,
Yeah.
they blow it out, and they get what they want.
Yeah.
They now have brand like a brand strategic positioning. Exactly. So they've positioned themselves as a premium brand by virtue of the ad that they're blowing out.
Yeah, because the brand is premium.
Yes.
The ad is premium.
So
Yeah.
because the ad is premium,
Yeah.
they've now positioned them as a
Yeah.
premium brand.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm offering. That's what I'm really offering. That strategic positioning. That's what I'm really
But
offering.
I actually feel like agencies don't get angry, but I actually feel like that's the future.
Well,
of the
yes.
advertising agencies. Yeah, it seems like it's like now you have an agency at the same time an influencer.
Influencer, yeah. And
But-
creative, yeah.
But-
Creative too as well,
But
yeah.
this is where I'll correct you. Agencies do a lot more than just the advertising of everything.
course,
you get.
yes,
So they handle
yes.
legals, they handle a bunch of things that we don't see. So
No, in the real sense of the word, advertising
yes,
agency or creative.
Creative, yes.
Yes, they do other things.
Yeah.
But the creative part
Yeah.
of it seems to be moving because a lot of people would prefer, let me give it to Elozonam because Elozonam also has not a lot, but it still has a lot of audience.
yeah.
Do you get? If I give to an agency, I still have to blast everywhere.
Yes, you still have to market it, yeah.
Again, so he said, let me just, I know I've gotten some from here and then
Yeah.
I'll still blast it. So that's how they are thinking, and it looks like, okay, maybe that's the future. So I don't think agencies will be scrapped out. I think they will have to just do other
They
things.
will have to do more.
They
They have to do more.
have to do more. You have to provide more
More.
value.
Yes.
You get to stay in
and they have to
business.
tap into influencer marketing.
They have to. There's no two ways about
in
it.
such a way, and I think that, and this is, and maybe agencies that people who are listening, I feel like, and this is based off of my experience working with brands, agencies need to they need to have more control over this influencer marketing thing, in the sense that you get a brief, how you handle your clients, you get a brief, you dissect the brief, you generate scripts and and then execute. Agencies need to have more control, because I find out that I do my best work when an agency is on top of it. Very on top. Like, for instance, Manu doesn't have an agency, they do me directly.
Yeah.
Techno, I did something for Techno this year, and there were 3 videos I did for Techno this year. I like those videos because the agency gave me guidelines.
Guidelines.
It gave me
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah.
Right. So it was pretty easy for me to take those ideas. Right. They know what I do. They've seen my work. So like, okay, they now tailored something. Okay, this is, he can do this, do this. Please note, this is just a guide. We don't want to limit his creativity. But the idea was there. He planted it. I took it and executed it. Right. So I think that agencies with their campaigns, they can get like a bunch of influencers and tailor the campaign to the be on top of it. Not just say, oh, we want you to create a video. Do this video.
And that's another problem. They also need to understand, like you said, the influencer, because some influencers pull back because when you sometimes they give them something that doesn't fit their
Exactly.
character.
It doesn't fit their market.
So
exactly.
You get what I'm saying? So they have to do more work.
Yes, they have to do more work and control
Yeah.
the flow of the campaign to have a successful one. Agencies that are very on top of it usually have very successful campaigns.
Yeah.
You know, so Techno's campaign this year was fantastic because the agency knew what they were doing.
This is the second time somebody is hailing techno on this platform.
They tried this year for their Camon 30. They tried. It was very. I was seeing all the other influencers and what they were doing, that they were on top of it. So I think that a lot of agencies need to. And again, please, people do this thing where, and they don't understand that the terrain is ever changing.
Yes.
It's ever changing.
Yes.
In 2017, you could give one influencer if a job, create this for a brand, they do it, and that's enough.
Yeah.
It's no longer that way.
It's not
not
on.
enough.
It's not that. Don't give one influencer and expect amazing results. You cannot do that. I'm sorry, you cannot do that. You can even, if you don't have a budget, you can even spread it across micro influencers.
Micro-influencers.
Give them a task and spread them deadlines, and you will have a fantastic campaign. Don't give one influencer. One influencer is not
I think
enough.
it all boils down to what your strategy is at the end of the day. Some people don't have any strategy; they just copy. Oh, they did this one. Okay, let's do it. They no strategy.
There's no influencer that is big enough to carry a brand.
Just one.
Just one.
There's no influencer or celebrity. There's none.
Especially
None.
now, so we will have less. How do I put it? Less influencers that brands want to collaborate with because of social media. Everybody is into one soup or the other every day. It's hard to keep clean. You know, so the number of influencers to work with is even limiting by the day.
That brings me to something I want to just because I mean people are supposed to watch this thing
Of
to learn,
course,
right?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So I get that social media thrives on controversy. You blow, your market will be heavy if you're, a little controversial. Do you get?
Yeah.
But if you really pay attention, right, you would know the people that are making money.
Yeah.
If you really pay
Pay
attention,
attention, yeah.
you will know the people that are making money off of social media. Instagram brands cannot pay you enough money,
Money.
to pop.
Yes.
What you will now do is to position yourself as a premium brand, and to do that, you have to position yourself as a home-friendly brand, like a child-friendly brand. Once your brand is child-friendly, once your parents can allow their kid go to your page and have fun there, you have hit the jackpot, because you would have child-friendly brands reach out to you. You would have household brands reach out to you.
You have responsible
You
brands.
have responsible, and those
out to
are the
you.
people that have money to spend.
But you know the
Consistently.
funniest thing, I try not to advise people these days. Do you know why?
Why?
You know why? Because you're saying this now. There are some people that have soft cushion, right? They can just wait, and you can come to me with some money or come to you and you'll be like, I'm not doing, I'm sorry. Because you can still eat. You still have food. But there are some that they feel like, oh, if I roll on the ground, even if it's 10,000 they give me, this brand, this Instagram brand, that one that is selling skincare.
Yeah.
They will just so they are targeting those ones.
Yes.
They're targeting the SMEs.
Yes.
You do
They're
what I'm
targeting
saying?
SMEs, yes.
Yes. So that's why I said I really, and guess what? Some of them like some brands, maybe the ones that are into let me say sex toys, for example. Those ones that are talking about
Yes.
stupid things and sex things, there are some brands. But like you said, they're very limited.
How much would
But-
how much would they pay you?
I would,
For how much would
some
they pay you?
people would die, God forgive me, but for just 1 naira. But
But
It's
the
not for everybody.
advice, the
Yes,
advice is very important.
the advice
for
is
people,
for people
who want to
who
want
really-
to like who want to
Yeah,
grow.
who really
There
want
was
to grow,
so
yes.
there was a big brother. I'm not going to mention the person's name. There was a big brother person that the brand was on that controversial path, right? Very controversial path, and a mutual friend reached out to me and said, "Oh, that I need advice. This person is tired of what their brand is like," and I'm just like, "Yo, take a break, change your strategy, stop talking about controversial things." And the type of people that what did it for the person was that a sex toy whatever brand reached out to them I'm just like,
That's what you attracted.
no. First of all, you're not Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian can get away with it.
Yes, yes.
You get Kim Kardashian can get away with selling sex, but you're not that big. You once you start selling sex in Nigeria, that's all you will sell.
Yeah.
No other brand will touch
Touch
you.
you.
No other brand will touch. So I'm fine with not being controversial. I don't sell sex. If I'm going to do anything sexy,
use
it
less
has
narratives.
it has to be tasteful, because let's face it, human beings are very sexual creatures.
Yeah.
Right? It's a conversation you cannot ignore. But
Yeah.
how you communicate
It's very
It's important.
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 Yeah.
And this is what people need to learn. If you want to make actual serious money and matter, like if you want to, because sometimes it's not
And
just about the
matter.
money,
Yeah.
and you
You have
matter.
to, you have
Yeah.
to be
You
relevant.
have to be clean. Your
To be
brand has to
clear.
be clean.
Yeah.
Spotless, stainless. You cannot be jumping from one controversy to the other. Why are you? Why are you the one that came to the world? You cannot be doing that.
And I even tell people, let's look at it critically. How many entertainment brands do we have in Nigeria that are sponsoring people and paying for stuff? We don't. America, they have a lot of entertainment
Yes.
brands. Yeah, so they can endorse a Cardi B even with her boobs, and they will endorse
Yes.
her. But over here, our values are different.
Yeah,
Our
No, very different.
orientation-
Very, very different. You have to
different.
understand where you are.
Yes, you have to do that. You have
And
to
also
understand.
the people doing all of the controversial things are like loud enough. So that brings me to our next question. Like, what do creative like you have to do to be, or you don't necessarily have to be loud? Do you have to be as out there? Is it something that you think you need?
Do you think? Yes. Do you
Yeah.
think about it? Do you feel like,
Like-
I need to be out there? I need to be
to
relevant.
the extent of these guys always talking, people always talking
Talking
about,
about
the
you. I need to make
controversial
them
people
talk.
too as well. Is it a pressure for you?
No. No. Because, again, I know who I am.
Yeah.
I know what I'm working with, right? I cannot be as loud as somebody who's controversial. Controversial is the one thing that sells the most. Let's be honest.
That's
You can't
the truth.
compete with that.
With that, yeah.
You can't
Especially
compete
if
with
you are
that.
a storyteller, if you're a storyteller and you are trying to tell stories,
Yeah.
you can't shout as loud as. You have to let different things. Again, you have to be strategic about your movement, right? For me now, in addition to the content I do, I also position myself as a fashion person. I'll dress well, take pictures.
Yeah.
Do you get? So there's that as well. So if you don't like my video content, you will like the fact that I dress well.
So you can't do a la da da dum, pam 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 dum, dum,
What's-
dum, a la da da.
What's
The
that?
brain jotter thing.
But I could do it.
Just jump on it.
Crazy.
I could jump on
just to be,
I
out
could
there.
jump on just to appeal to that audience. I could, but I know I'm not going to.
You say you could,
I could.
but no, that you're not
He
going
would
to.
he would jump on it in his own way. So
Yeah,
maybe
I could
use
jump
the
on it in my own way.
music to do
Yeah,
something, be
because I feel like
creative
it's
about
a
it.
funny it's a funny challenge.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to answer my question because that's sometimes the way as creative. That's the reception we have, like the pullback we have sometimes. Other people that don't think, they don't think about anything. They just do it as it
Immediately,
comes.
like they
Immediately.
just like
We don't have those people. Those type of people don't have second thoughts when it comes to it. But we as creative, we just have to think about it
I mean,
through.
for me, I feel like the reason I didn't jump on that challenge because the opportunity didn't present itself. I would not create the opportunity. I mean, I would not. But if the opportunity presents itself, I would
What
have
you
done
mean
it.
the opportunity? It's just
Like
like,
if I was in a place, for instance, now if I was here, like a bunch of people are here, and like, I want to do challenge. I'm like, okay, I won't say no. I say, okay, cool, let's do it, and I'll do it, and I'll post it. The opportunity has presented itself. But will I say, hey, what's up, Omo? Let's jump on this brain water challenge? No.
But that's what other people do.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Well,
what
it
I
so
do.
suits
that's my
them.
point.
It
It
doesn't-
suits them.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
suit
Because again,
him.
it comes down to strategy, right? jump on a trend. Jumping on trends is one way to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you jump on trends consistently, it's one way to go. So yes, if there are people that would do like, okay, I want to jump on this.
Yeah.
Let's do it. There are people
And
that
then
would
there are
intentionally
some
do that.
trends that suit you. There are some that doesn't
That
suit
doesn't,
you. So
yeah.
like this range water one doesn't suit
It
you.
does.
It's
It's not my
fine.
thing.
Yeah.
You
The
know?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 day challenge, I did that because
Yeah,
it's my thing.
it's your thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
I
that
could do
makes
it and
sense
finesse it in my own way. Do you guess?
It's always so you just have to be conscious, aware about your brand,
Your strategy.
Very,
very, very important.
very important. There's some challenges I would have liked to do. I could wake up one morning and say, you know what, this week I'm just going to be doing challenges, or this month I'm going to be doing challenges. But at the end of the day, if I do that too much, I will now break away from my own
Your own audience, the old thing that you do.
That by the time I come back to it, I would have lost
Sure.
that audience, and the new people be like, what's this? Do you get? Exactly. So I can't allow myself to stray too much from the path. I can maybe infuse, but I cannot stray too much from that path.
One last question. People have been complaining about economic this, economic that. Is it affecting brand collaborations in any way?
Yes.
Okay.
Because this economy is touching everybody.
Because
Everybody.
because you said something about having a script that you've not done for so many years, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, but Elozonam is working with how many brands?
Ah.
You could have you could have called them up to say, oh, come jump on it. So
It's touching everybody. I will tell you that for free, that brands are not advertising, or they're not spending as much, because you give them your rate card and you try to haggle down and haggle down and haggle. So I know the economy is touching everybody. Like, for instance, last year, when the elections were ongoing, everybody stopped. Like, it wasn't
Yes.
like, oh, trickles. They grinded to a halt. In fact, they grinded to a halt so much that I was like, okay, so I realized that this was a flaw in my plan. And I'm like, yeah, Elo, you cannot rely on branded work all the time. You have to you have to venture into other businesses
yeah.
that would not grind to a halt when the economy is doing like this. Do you get? Because brands just stopped. And then later down the line, towards the end of the year, that's when it picked up, when things started getting, when all that election brouhaha kind of settled. Then it's now, okay, this is what it is now. They started trying to spend money, and then this year it kind of picked up. But you can tell that the economy is touching everybody too,
yeah.
because they're not trying to spend so much, and everybody's now expensive.
Everything is
Yeah.
expensive.
People in my crew, they increased my price, and I still have not increased my rates to the
rates,
client, because my
yeah.
rates are still high. But that means now my profit has to take a hit. If I want to put out the quality of work
Yeah.
that I'm used to, my profit has taken a hit. So, Amo, look, God help us.
God help us.
Honestly,
so.
because these are the challenges.
The bond. I want to like ask one final question. How do people creative? What's your advice with the whole burnout thing? Because it's a thing that we don't talk
Much
about
about, yeah.
because creative. To me personally, I feel like psychologically we are on a different planet. It almost feels like we need a therapist almost all the
Yeah.
time. Most especially in this part of the world where you don't understand why they're not valuing your
Yes.
you don't quite understand it. You creative are not even like business minded people to strategize on how to go about it. So would you say they have to find happiness somewhere else aside from just because another thing I realized, creative just hold on to finding happiness on their creative
Their work,
results
yes.
all
yeah.
the time, and it's very stressful. What's your advice?
So creatives obviously are very emotional about their work.
Yeah.
Very, very emotional about their work. I would say my advice to creatives would be, I think that from my own experience, you have to find other things that make you happy. Because those other things would also fuel your creativity. They would inspire you. So you cannot be buried in your work all the time, even though it gives you joy. You have to go out and experience life, breathe the oxygen that God has given you, enjoy life, surround yourself with your loved ones, play, get back into play, play like a child, play. You can, and I can't stress this too much. You are never too old. Even if you are 90 and you want to play like a child,
yes.
play like a child. You are never too old to be an agbaya. I'm sorry. You are not. You play like a if I get the opportunity to enter bouncy castle today, I'll do it. I'll enter bouncy castle. I will play. Water gun. I will play. All this I will play because it helps you. It helps your soul. Once your soul is fed and full, yeah, it will show in your work, right? So if you are burnt out, obviously sit in it. Because if you try to work in that burnout, you will churn out rubbish. And then you'll be full of self-loathing. And you feel like an imposter. You have imposter syndrome. So you have to sit in that burnout, wallow in it, enjoy other things that you like to enjoy. Read a book, watch films, go out and play, eat food that you like to eat. If you like to drink alcohol, drink. Do what you like to do. Engage in other things that bring joy to your life. Pray. Go to church. Feed your soul. Do what you got. Sit in that burnout. Stay there. You will eventually get tired of staying there. And you stand up and move. Also, another thing I would say is engage in work that doesn't have money tied to it. Do work that doesn't have money tied to it. Because money has a way of spoiling things. When I started this thing, when I started my journey, I enjoyed it because I wasn't getting paid. The plan was to become an influencer eventually. I wanted to get paid for it, But that entire journey was so much fun because I was doing videos. I was just playing.
It was fun.
Once money entered, it's pressure entered.
Yeah, pressure.
Pressure entered to deliver. Pressure entered to deliver on all fronts. Your engagement, the quality of work, the client's going to like it. And that can also help with burnout. That can also fuel your burnout. So
100.
engage in work that doesn't have money tied to it. Learn a new skill, something that you can enjoy, that you enjoy doing as your hobby. So there's so many, but you have to be intentional about helping your burnout, about getting out of it. You have to be very intentional. You cannot just sit and hope that it's going to pass. You have to do things. Go out of your way to do things that would help that burnout and feed your soul.
And it's never too late to be creative.
It's never too late.
Some people are putting timelines to it, like if you don't blow between this age and this age, it can't happen again. It's not like that. I feel like even if you're 90, you can be creative. It's all about the mindset.
And the way you blow when you're 90, God, you're like, so I can blow like this. What, I'm almost dead.
When you're a creative, you're a creative. Like Elozonam now, I feel like even when he's old, he'll still be churning out stuff.
I'll try.
It's a long time thing.
It's a long time thing. It's a forever thing.
It's a forever thing.
So there's no hurry.
Also, like she said, start small. People say, I don't have the equipment. I don't have to see your phone. And the budget phones they're making these days have pretty decent cameras.
Yes, they have decent
Start small. Stay true to yourself. Don't try to be like anybody. Don't try to be like me. Don't try to be like Brush. Don't try to be like Kiki. Don't try to be like anybody else. Just be true to yourself. People like you because you are you. Not because you're anybody else. Not because you're trying to mimic something. Because you're you. Nobody can do you like you. You are very unique in your own way. No matter if there are going to be 100 billion people in this world, you are still very, 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 very unique in your own way. You might have similarities to other people because of the terrain you're in, but nobody can ever do you like you. So stay true to yourself, and that's what is going to set you apart from everybody else. Start small and grow.
Great. We've had fun today. I hope no other questions.
No,
Has to go.
Good.
Thank you so much for coming. We have a gift for you.
Thank you for having me.
Gift, I'm so grateful for you being here and sharing all this tea for us.
And I'm so grateful for you sharing all my work. Because anytime I see my videos live, I'm like, she has carried it. Woo! You want to say like, she has carried it. Yes. I'm not going to check comments. Okay, good. So anytime my ad enters live with Linda, I'm like, I'm blown. This ad has blown.
She's had this comment with every creative, like, people in the agency side to tell her that, if our bosses don't see your stuff on live in Linda, we're not.
For real, and that's the thing. That's the thing I have to emphasize. You have to do something that nobody else is doing. I don't think anybody else is doing what you're doing.
Nah.
So anytime I see, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait,
our sponsors, Imperial and Viva. So
Imperial.
You've worked with Imperial before.
I've worked with Imperial. Oh my, the Stella ad. Oh, that Stella ad. Look.
It was nice.
That Stella ad
You did that of burnout.
Ah. When,
But it was
when they
nice.
gave me that brief, honestly, I didn't know what I was going to do. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I didn't. I'm like, you know what? Let me just. Okay, so we're going for the event. Let me just shoot something around it, you know. And I remember it was so stressful because I had no clear direction. I said, let me just wear my clothes and make
Yeah.
tell my dude, just make nice shots, and that was I was stressed out shooting that thing because I had no clear
Clear
direction.
direction.
No clear direction. It was when after I finished working shooting, I went for the event, shot some videos at the event, and then I started working post production. I sat down like, you know what, Stella. I was just thinking about it, and then the Interstellar soundtrack came to mind. I was like,
yeah.
am I going to be allowed to use this? Copyright issues. You know what? Whatever. Let me just paint the picture, and if need be, I'll change the music. And I painted the picture. I kept on going. I was like, okay, you know what? Okay, I like this. This is okay. This is okay. I like this. I sent it to the clients, and they were like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Oh my god, thank God!" Thank God. I was ready to do it again. I was like,
Again.
"Okay,
Oh,
if the
yeah.
client complains, I have to do it again." But when it's like love, I'm like, "Oh, thank God, thank God."
What's your wait? I mean, what do you do when you're waiting for reply? That process of waiting. What do you do?
I don't wait to. I just go about my business. When they come back, they come back.
You
You,
know-
you
you
can't
know-
do that to yourself. Oh my God, I can't do that to myself. I'm waiting in anxiety. No, I'll just go and do other things, do other projects, and
Get
and
your
wait
mind
for
off
yeah.
it.
And when they come back, I typically don't have bad feedback. So
Yeah.
I think my record it's not been perfect all the time.
Yeah.
But I typically don't have
Bad,
I think I have a 98% success rate. No clients is fine. If they're going to change anything, maybe like one or two things like I will just change.
Thanks to your
and-
agency background.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Training
Exactly.
is important.
Very important.
Training is important.
Very
Yeah.
important.
Because my
Experience.
writer also works in an agency
You see?
for a long time,
Okay.
so we understand how to
Yeah.
cater to the
Cater.
client, position them, the do's and don'ts, the language, everything. We understand all of that, so we barely have, you know.
And that's one thing other influencers have to learn. I'm not saying do your videos like Elozonam, but there are some basic things you just
There's some
have to
basic
learn.
things.
Yeah.
You know, they're just some basic things. Because
Don't
you
be
see
sexual.
some, you know,
Don't be sexual. Don't speak against another
a
brand.
brand, you know.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things. Because I see some videos and I'm like,
Yeah, like cringe. Like
you know.
they approve this. Why?
Why?
Why? Didn't they watch this
You know
video?
what you do. And we're getting to a point where we're going to be working with brands are going to be working with a lot of influencers. So
Yes.
what differentiates you is how well you are able to deliver a video that is up to standard and the client would like. So you need to learn those rules, please. It
Yes.
doesn't matter whether you are go and learn.
Go and
Everything is
go and
online.
learn, no. Everything is online.
Everything is online.
Oh, thank you for having me. This has
You're
been fun.
welcome. So
Ah,
fun, like so fun, so educative, so insightful. Thank you so much for sharing.
thank you for having me.
Hopefully we'll get to see you
Yeah,
again.
anytime,
soon.
just shout out anytime. We'll do this again.
Great. Thank you so much. And you guys, please make sure you like, share, and comment. And if you have any questions for Elozonam, don't worry, leave them in the comments. I'll go and fish him out to answer your questions. So until next time, bye.